Dave here. How are you? Today is the 1st of November, for me anyway, because we're in the Southern Hemisphere and we're ahead of the rest of the world, except for New Zealand and maybe a couple of Pacific Islands. I hope the stream's coming through well. If someone could put a comment down there. Nice segue, Dave. You like that, Derek? Okay, so I'm presuming that it's coming through fine. Let me grab the run sheet and also push the button on this thing as well. Now I'm hoping that a lot of you have gone over and watched Cole from Gifkin Jig, watched his video. It was his first live stream today. Excellent, thanks Derek. And I was really wanting people to jump in and support him because it is a nerve-wracking thing to do. You know, it's one of those crazy things. There is so much technical stuff around the edge. Most of us woodworkers aren't great with tech stuff. We're good with our hands and we can reason stuff that's actual pliable thing in front of us. But when you are actually jumping in and doing something that's involving a lot of other people and trying to think along the same wavelength as they do, it's daunting. I'm going to pop this post up. It's going to say, where are you? Da, 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 da. Click that one, this one. And for everyone who's on Facebook as well that follow me, this will just go straight out. Done. Today on the show, Cole was excellent, well worth it, excellent. Trick-or-treating. There you go. Audio and visual, good. Enjoyed Cole's efforts as well. That's great. Thanks, Russell. All right, today on the show. Do you remember last week I read the run sheet and there was one item and I'd already said, and Vicky just looked at me and said, what are you doing? I don't know. All right, this week on the show, the elusive flat shiny back of a bench chisel and also the Sorby Pro Edge. Now you see I've got the Pro Edge over here set up on my lathe cart. It's at a perfect height. I love this height. So first of all, we're going to run through using float glass and sandpaper and wet and dry to achieve a nice shiny back. Now you'll know that during the, last show, maybe the last one or the one before, when I was doing the hand sharpening, questionable hand sharpening, but when I was doing the hand sharpening, the backs weren't highly polished. They were, you know, down to around something, let's say around about a 600 grit finish, but I'm going to take it down to 2000 and I'm going to polish today. So I'll show you a picture of one that I've done, which is in the middle of this image that I did during the week. And all of those are reflecting the same light that's on the ceiling. So you can see the one on the left is the first, that was the chisel we did in the first week, but it was 2 weeks ago. The chisel on the right is the one that I did last week. And that one in the middle, which is showing the light crystal clear, float glass is dead flat, master trade skills. That's why I'm using it. So there you go. That's what I have been doing during the week, apart from making Stanton benches like crazy. So this is a piece of 10mm thick float glass, maybe 12, but anyway, it's really thick. These things, float glass, when it's hot and all molten, it just sets dead flat. You're not going to find anything much flatter than this. What you can do, oh, you like the haircut? Okay. What you can do is you can get pieces of granite that have been machined dead flat. You've got other things that are, I was having a look last week at the different DMT plates, diamond plates, and I was asking one of the guys, why is there such a price difference between a coarse diamond plate that's say 10 inches and a lapping plate from the same company that's about the same size, maybe just a little bit bigger? There was a jump from around, I don't know, I think it was around $180 to $500. I thought, I can't see the justification. Then I read the packet and it was, of course, it's guaranteed to be 0.005 of an inch tolerance flat. So that's what you're paying for. You're paying for that tolerance. Now you can get that same tolerance basically. For us, it's going to be good enough with a piece of float glass. If you use 3mm float glass, it's liable to break as you apply pressure. So try and find something that's around 6mm 3/8 of an inch. Thank you. I'm presuming that's what you said, Derek. All right. Now, what that in inches? Okay, Garrett. There you go. Yeah, I was curious as to why, you know, there's a big jump in the price of the lapping plate. Now, Veritas also have lapping compounds, like there's different grits that you can use on things. But as I say, the thing that I like is a piece of float glass. Now you see that I've bonded a piece of 120 grit paper. Now how do I know it's 120? Because it's written on it. I cheat, you can see straight through the glass. And I'm going to also bond a piece of, you tell me children, what's that one? I think it's 320. Yes, it is. Excellent. And on this side, we're going to put the wet and dry. Now, I'm doing it on my bench, and I don't have the anti-slip strips right at the front. Ordinarily, I do it over here on the side, but it's not going to be very good for you to be able to see. So I'm going to use a bit of this draw liner. I'll grab a pack of it. This is the stuff I grab. I just grab it from a grocery store, whoever, and you just cut a little piece. It works great. Autosol also is good for a mirror finish. Thanks, Alan. So now, it ain't going anywhere. How cool is this? All right. Now, let me see. Which chisel shall we work on? I had them all out here waiting for me earlier, but I've been watching Cole and I got distracted. This is the one that I did during the week. It's pretty cool, isn't it? See, the reason we get this nice and flat on the back, for the purists, it's not for just a carpenter on site. You're not going to be concerned about getting them like this. You're going to be concerned whether or not it's going to be able to chop a bit out of a frame so you can put a light switch or something in there. That's basically all a carpenter's going to want, or to knock out the end of a bird's mouth joint on a roof rafter, if you're still cutting roofs. I used to cut my own roofs all the time. So that's what we're after. First thing I can do, you can probably hear in the background, I've got the Triton slow speed grinder running. And I do something that's really naughty. Got to confess. Look at this horrible old chisel. This is a stinker. But I've got it to there by just holding it on the edge of the wheel as it's turning, not on the top, on the side of the wheel. Now that's a big no-no for a lot of people, but for me, my wheel's in really good condition. And as it's turning, make sure it's turning away from you and have it pointing towards the center of the axle. Don't hold it over on an angle, towards the center of the axle, and it will give you a head start towards this stage. I'll put that to the side. Look, let's work with one of the chisels that we've already, this is the one we did on the first day. So it's not bad, but I'm going to try and get it really, really nice. So we'll switch the cameras around. How good was Cole this morning? That was fantastic. I'm going to clean off some of this old residue. This is, see this stuff? It's just spray contact adhesive. Heaps of people make it. It's basically, well, I can't say it's all the same stuff because I don't know, but the end result is it will stick stuff to here. I'm going to clean off the residue that's on there from the last time I've done this. Because any little bit that's holding up is going to be a problem. If our surface on our paper isn't dead flat, well then why have this? If I've got bits of old glue in there, it's going to undulate. And you're going to think, or he looks better than out of the packet, you reckon? You're going to think that this is all being way obsessive. And it is to a certain extent, but it's a good idea to start as you mean to finish. I'm going to rotate this around 90 degrees, put that back under there. And then I'm going to use a little bit of turpentine. And I'm going to put some gloves on. It's going to be a bit of a shock to the system for me wearing gloves, but I do it now and then. Turpentine and a heap of paper. Who is Cole? Morning, Leroy. Cole is the guy who owns Gifkin's Jig, and he did a live stream. It was his first one. He did it an hour ago, and he did fantastic. That's so good. All right, turpentine is the first thing that I'm going to use to clean off the old. I'll turn this off. We don't need that running anymore. All of the residue again. It's got to be done. It really does. You've got to get this super clean. So a bit of terps on here. I'll switch the cameras over as well. Cole's got a Stream Deck. Maybe I should get one as well. All right, so you can see we're cleaning this up. That there is on the other side. That's on the underside. Now, how do we know when it's clean? Look at that. Well, it's going to start making a different sound. Don't cut yourself, of course. And it's going to start grabbing. That's the end of that piece of paper. Another piece. Hear that? Here we go. That's good. Done. Oh, that was my workout. All right. What is a Gifkin? I click on the link, I lose Dave. Open up a second window. Open up a second window and then click on that. And away you go. Or just wait till after the show and you can do it then. All right, now I've got that. The important thing with this stuff is don't spray the glass and the paper. We want this piece of paper sprayed on its own for a temporary bond. And we're going to do it quickly rather than slowly. I'll jump back out of there. Go to this one. Now, don't do it where the overspray, this is just going to go everywhere and it tacks to everything. So I'm going to get a towel. I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to throw this over all of that. And that's my backing for the spray. I'm going to hold it so it's curling this way. Otherwise, when I spray it, if I was just holding it flat, the spray would make it blow away. So we want to do this to give it some rigidity. All right. I'll have my back to you slightly. Don't breathe in the fumes, but just a little quick spray. And then the other way up. And while it's like that, we put it on straight away. Also, I leave a little bit hanging over the edge. It's more important with the wet and dry than it is with this, but that's what I do. All right, next thing. My veneer roller. Very, very important. I might switch the other camera on and also shut the terps. Other camera. There we go. Veneer roller. We want it as flat as flat can be. Done. That area that looks round, of course, is going over the edge. It's flat up here. All right, give it a little bit more. As I say, it's only temporary. This is the chisel that we're going to tidy up, I'm going to also use a little bit of detergent water. Spread that around, move it slowly to spread the water. All right, now I can start. Now that's coming along quite well. Now all of the pattern that we used to have there was cross-hatched. Now it's all one direction. Does it require you to sell one of your kids? Only a kidney. That is the quickest way to get a chisel flat. I'm going to do a couple. I've got this one. This is a skanky old chisel. Look at this. Now this thing, look at the end, the end of it. It's not mine. This was given to me, I think, by my cousin Rob. So anyway, it looks like someone has tried to grind that on the edge of an angle of a bench grinder and dug right in. So let's see how it goes at tidying this up. That's not bad. Now see this area here, it really doesn't matter if we don't get into that part yet. This part along the edge is what we're after. So it's a little bit rolled off, but I'm going to fix that up on the Pro Edge anyway. But I'm going to work it just a little bit more, give it a little bit more drink. Oh, I love it. It cleans it up so well. You can see the paper is already starting to release from the contact. Because you just have to get in quick. There we go. That's going to do me for the moment on that. Now I'm going to take that off. How easy was that? Just pop that out of the way for the moment and give this a quick wipe. And you can see the residue from the contact on there. I'm not going to be concerned about that right at the moment. I'm going to flip the plate of glass over to here. Which side should I use? This is a jagged side. I'm going to use the other side that's a little bit more user-friendly. Just there. That's looking pretty good. I've got to clean that off with the terps again. Okay. All right. All sorts of comments coming through, which is great. It's what it's all about. This is where we're going to start getting the mirror shine. I say to people, when I said at the beginning, start as you mean to finish. It's the same with building a house. If you get the foundation right, then the roof frame goes on really easily. It just stays nice and square, and nothing's a problem. You don't have to fudge things at all. All right, a bit more of this paper. Not so bad there because I was using it yesterday. There we go. Lovely. All right, quick read. I could do, yeah. Why rotate the glass rather than clean where you were? Because I did. All right, next thing, I'm going to get a piece of 600. I'm jumping grits pretty quickly, but I think you'll see that it's not too hard to do. This is a bit of 600 wet and dry. And when you cut it, don't fold it like that and run your fingers down the back because that hurts. Fold it so that the abrasive is facing back into itself. I think I cleaned the terps off pretty quickly, so I think I was all right with that. But maybe. Then I can fold it back the other way. All right, I'm going to tear it. Done. I'll use this piece. And again, we'll spray it. Back over in the corner in the spray booth. Over the edge a little. And the veneer roller. No, I've got the glue come out on top now. I put a little bit too much on. Not to worry. I'm going to let that sit. See that? Wouldn't you know it? It ain't a good show unless there's a disaster. All right, we're going to let that sit there still just for a bit. I think we'll be all right. How's David going to save this one? Oh, that's not good at all. Pull that off. Pull that off. Put it on again. You know what I'm going to do? I'm madly thinking what I'm going to do here. I'm going to just go with it and hope that it doesn't move around. And hopefully the chisel will just push it down on its own. What do you reckon? Okay, so here we go. There's the water. And this is the chisel that we've been working on. That was at 320. Oh dear. Maybe I wouldn't like to be human right at the moment. I'm going over very, very lightly, spreading the water. And the next pass is going to be a little bit harder. And the next pass a bit harder again. And now I'm starting to put a bit of pressure on. So basically I was using the chisel as a veneer roller. Now don't be tempted to do rotation work, because what you're going to do is going to tear the paper. Okay, now the glue doesn't really need too much time. What happened was, I understand what you're saying there, John, but to do a temporary bond, oh, this is beautiful. To do a temporary bond, you spray it and put it on while it's tacky straight away, and only spray one side. What happened was there was squeeze out at the end. It got onto the veneer roller, came back over on the top of the paper and pulled the paper back up again. That's what happened. What's a show without a mistake? All right, let's have a look at that. 600, now remember we're going to go to 2000. I think that's starting to get better on the reflection. That's not bad. All right, let's get that really daggy chisel, this one, and have a go with that. Yeah, well, the glue on the veneer roller is going to be a bit of an issue for me, but I think we'll be okay. I'll clean it off with some terps later. It is very easy to tear the paper when you're doing this part. Now I put more water on it because it's got detergent in it, and it does tend to clean out those little valleys in between all of the abrasive. Let's see how that is. Starting to get there, but the end is the part that I really want to come up shiny, and it's not really touching it at the moment, so I'll just put a little bit more pressure down towards the end. Again, that's getting there, slowly. What a massive gouge out that is. All right, next thing. I'll take that one off. And you can see the contact all peeling up there. And we'll clean that off. And I'll use this old chisel here. See how it goes. Oh, it's not doing anything, is it? Nothing at all. Let's use this one. I can bring the edge back up by putting it on the strop. Done. Clean her off. Other people, what you can do, like, I shouldn't say other people, what you can do is to, I don't think I'll need to terps this one. I think they'll be okay. You can put a series of different grades of paper along there, or one on one side, one on one, one on the other, one over here, and that would work. I'm going to use a little bit more of new paper, and then you'll be able to go through 4 grades in at one go. If, say, you're doing a few chisels, you go 4 or 5 at 600. Next one I'm going to go to will be, let me see, what will our next one be? What have I got? I've got 1,000. Let's go with 1,000. Normally I use the back of my thumbnail to run along it, to tear it, or to crease it in the right spot. But with the gloves on, it's a little bit awkward. There we go. Not so much of the spray this time. There we go. And as suggested, we'll leave it sit there for a second. Stephanie, take a second, everyone, and give Dave a thumbs up. Since he mucked up the roller. Yeah. Let's see how that roller is now. I hope it doesn't start pulling up the other stuff. I'll give it a wipe. Actually, I'm going to give it a wipe with the terps while I wait for that to just dry off a touch. Yeah, it's coming off. Because you could bet your life on the fact that as soon as I put the roller on, it'd pull that paper straight up again. Good, it needed a clean anyway. Give it a quick rub on the bench. He meant to do that. You're very kind, Carl. Hi, Pam, and I would like to thank everyone who watched and helped us through our first show. Well done, well done. You went great. All right, I'm going to put this one on. Remember, over the edge just a little bit. And let's see how we go this time with the veneer roller. I'm not going to go out past the end. That'll be enough. I'm just going to stay in those bounds. All right. A little bit of the magic potion. Jim Davey taught me that one. And that little hole, see, it's only a little 1/8 hole or a 3mm hole in the end of that bottle cap. And it works brilliant. I keep the other cap from another drink bottle that has no hole in it. So I switch them over and I keep it all in a box over there, and it's always ready for me. All right, now I've lost the chisel. No, here it is. Don't panic. Here we go. Again, nice and slow to start. Just pull it back through so that we've got the paper sitting down nicely. And then start on it. And see how I'm holding it? I got my hand underneath the chisel here supporting it so it doesn't drop down. I've got fingers over there and there. So this is right in the middle of the chisel. And then I'm holding onto the blade as well. And these two fingers, finger and thumb, I should say, let me put them up on that side. They're getting an equal space there as well. So I'm working the equal pressure over the whole of the back of the chisel. A little bit more drink. That's pretty nice. I think the reflection on those lights, I want to get it so that they look pretty good, but even so, what I've done is the focus isn't set. Let me see if I can pick up another light in here. Isn't set for those other lights, so that by the time the camera comes down and bounces back up to where the light source is, it will probably still be out of focus. Let's go with this crappy old one again. So Cole, how was it? Did you enjoy it, Cole? I was feeling for you, buddy. At the beginning, 10 minutes to go, I was thinking, Cole's going to be off to the bathroom for a quick nervous wee before he starts the show. Is everything going to work? Did it actually start well for you, or did it? Were there problems or not? I didn't catch the very beginning. I was setting my own stream up at that time. Let me know. That's starting to shine up down here. This chisel's going to need a whole lot more work. I'm going to stop going on that one. We'll just go with the other one. So that was 1,000. I'll put that to the side because I can still use that and clean it when it dries out. Next I'm going to go to 1,500, and then we'll finish off with 2,000. Then we'll jump on the Sorby, and I'm going to knock over 6 chisels in record time. You'll be amazed. Come on, make that noise. Nope, for some reason it doesn't want to do the squeaky noise for me. I'll tear this. Come on, you can do it. Quick spray. You are supposed to tip these things upside down and give it a burst in between spraying, but I haven't. Cool. Let it sit there for a second. It seemed to work the last time. John, Dave, didn't you do a show on using the Pro Edge to do the back, but only just near the tip edge? Look, in the early days of having the Pro Edge, let me see if I can get back to this camera. In the early days, I gave that a try, and it was a fail. It was an abysmal fail. What happens was, because the machine is so aggressive, it would grab in one spot and heat up too quickly, and there was a whole lot of metal to come off. and I've just found that using the diamond plates on there very coarse to start, and then jumping onto the sandpaper is a whole lot safer for the chisels. The Triton using the wet wheel, it's fine, it does the job. All right, let's go to this one, see how we go. So it's over the edge, no bubbles in the middle. Start from the center with the veneer roller. Don't go all the way out. There's a new tip that I learnt today as well. Done. All right. Why the heck not a piece of metal or hardwood? Float glass is dead flat. Metal and hardwood aren't. Metal and wood don't like water. Well, that's another reason. Where are we? Back to this one. Give him another drink. And we're going to keep on working this one. Spread it out a little. Slowly to start, to spread the water around and to just make sure that it's all sitting down nice. All right. Now you might say, well, Dave, why are we polishing them? The reason being, we're going to take the bevel on this, it's going to be a flat grind on the Pro Edge. I'm going to take that down to 3000 grit paper. I'm going down to 2000 on the back here. We want where these surfaces converge, which is the actual goods of where the chisel is cutting, we want those two surfaces to converge very nicely. If I didn't polish the back up, and it's just a bit slack like sometimes I am, we all are I guess, well, you're going to have little intervals along that cutting edge that aren't going to be sharpened because the back of the chisel might have a little divot or a slot from the abrasive that you've used prior. And if I had only taken it to 120 grit and the top the bevel to 3000, you can see there's going to be little bits along there that are going to miss, and the cut the paper trick at the end isn't going to show as well. Oh. It's not going to show anywhere nearly as nicely. Can you see the reflection of me in there? Now that is getting to be pretty good. That's 1500. We're going to take it to 2000. Okay, so what was that planning? What thickness of flat glass dimension, please? Been beveled edge. Sorry, this is, I think 12 mil, which is going to be close to ½ inch, or maybe 10 mil. I didn't put the calipers on it. This was an old coffee table. So my wife loves working with glass. Yeah, so she was going to do some stuff with it, didn't actually eventuate. So we got this for free. It was a friend of mine had it. He says, oh, you can have the thing. So they've been sitting around here. I was going to do something with them, but never did. How good is this? Using the spray on one side only and with the water, I've found that the contact isn't sticking on the glass, isn't staying there, which is great. Oh, wouldn't you know it? I've sat my roll of paper in a puddle beside the bloody Triton. Oh dear. That's probably why it wasn't squeaking. Like the glass wasn't squeaking. Okay, 2000 is our last one. So where are we? 1500. There, I think I've got a bit of 2000 down here. There we go. And as has been said, we're using glass because it's flat. The nature of the beast, the center of the earth is pulling it all at the same rate. Gravity. I have no idea, Johannes, what you're saying because I don't understand Portuguese. I think it's Portuguese they speak in Brazil. Correct me if I'm wrong. or Spanish. I don't know. Are they close enough to the same thing, Spanish and Portuguese, or is it, do the Portuguese speak Spanish? I don't know. One of the things about living in Australia, we're kind of isolated from the rest of the world, especially as far as airplanes are concerned at the moment. Did you see that roll out? That's great. That's why I like using this. That would have torn big time straight away, right at the beginning, if I didn't roll it. All right, drink of water. Cool. Spread the water out and start polishing. You can see the color. See the black coming up on the paper straight away. This is so nice. 22. All right, we're going to have around about 20 minutes to sharpen 6 chisels. I'm going to do this one as well. This is the one that I started with the manual sharpening. So we're going to start off with a 60 grit belt. Whoop, that happens. I wasn't concentrating, but the chisel was sharp by the time it hit. Have a look. It's just that bit sharper. Or sorry, that was just that bit more polished. How nice is that? No, they're not even close. Well, thank you for that, John. Letting me know. All right, switch to the other camera. What are you going to cut with it? All right, send a kiss to Brazil. I'm guessing, Derek, we need to watch that one. Just putting a towel back without putting it in the dog's water. How cute is the dog? She's just learned how to walk downstairs. She's been fine going upstairs for a couple of months, or for a month or so, and now she has advanced to, just setting this up there, I think that should be fine, advanced to going downstairs. Now for a pug with bug eyes, that's a hard call. She kind of trusts herself when she launches herself into going down the stairs that the next one's going to be in the right position. Okay, that looks so good, Dave. Thanks, Matthew. I'm going to put this piece of glass over here out of the way, and we'll go over to this camera. If it's in the right position, I'm going to check that first. He wants, well, unlucky, I'm not sending a chisel. Let me see where we are. Just setting this up. I think about there it'll be good. If I'm standing here, that'll all be fine. That's good. I'm going to switch the cameras again. There we go. I'll spin that around a little bit so you can see everything. You see in the background, that's the, over here is a brass wheel and my old bench grinder and the lathe, of course. This is all on the cart that I built on the show. It is such a nice cart. All right, let's see which chisels we're going to sharpen up on this thing. I'm not going to do this one because it's got a massive big reverse grind on there. Someone's absolutely stuffed that one. So let's have a look. We'll do this dodgy one. We'll fix that up. And what do we got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, first thing we're going to do, I'll take these gloves off because I don't like using gloves in the machine. This is not a loud machine. Release that. Lets me slide that off. That is the 3000. And then down here, I don't know if you can see the drawer. Makes life easy, doesn't it? They're all in there waiting for me. I'm going to start off with a 60 grit and we'll probably go with, I'll just go with the aluminium oxide belt. There's 3 different types. I've got a ceramic, an aluminium oxide, and a blue one. Okay, I've got to make sure I'm going the right direction with the arrows on the pro edge and lock it in. There we go. That's the first first one that we're going to use. Like so. And we want to make sure that we're safe. So I'm using this. This is something that Derek made for me. It holds on there by magnets. And I've also changed the guard so that it also holds on by magnets here onto the bolts that are hanging up. Now when I turn it on, it should self-center. I'm over a little bit there. There she goes, beautiful. I like using this particular guide. It's designed for gougers to go in there to do this kind of thing, but I like the side of it. 60 grit. Can you see that? And that, you watch. It's quick. This thing is quick. All the work is done with the 60 grit belt. And you notice it's not going blue. I can touch it for a minute. It just got a little bit warm there on that corner. So I'm going to put that one down for the moment. Move on to the next one. I'm setting it at 25 degrees, so it's putting a new bevel on all of these. So not only am I going to sharpen, I'm also putting a new grind on. Set that to the side. I'm going to go through them all. See that? You'd be amazed. You'd think, oh, he's going to burn his hand. He's burning the chisel, but no. Look at this rotten thing. I wouldn't be able to hold my finger there if I was on one of the finer grades. If I was on, say, 240, it'd be getting really warm by now. My finger just, I wouldn't be able to do it. Pop that there. I'm just giving it its first belt, this little one here. And also notice this one, it's not square, it's way out. I don't know if you can see that. It's way out of square. This will straighten it up. Now some people reckon that their Pro Edge, it's very hard for them to get a square edge. Well, I haven't found that. I keep telling people mine delivers, look at this one. I guess it's all in technique as well. Go back to the beginning. Now the reason I'm not on them as long this time is because they've already been warmed up. Nearly there. On the first time I went through. You don't need to see the back of me while I'm doing that. It's going to make it easier if I go to this camera. I'll have a quick read. You want to see how it's going on the magnet tray underneath? It's going brilliant. I'll show you when I've finished. I'll show you when I've finished. There you go. That's going to be a bit easier for you to see what's happening. We're getting a little burn there, but it's nothing savage. Not too much. When I first got this, I used to put them in water, the blades, to cool them down. But I was told it's probably not a good idea. It affects the steel. Just a little bit more on that one. And this one. And those skinny ones, they're done. I just have to go in with the finer paper on these. Once I've got, as I say, once I've got the grind done, it's very quick after that. This, of course, is the blade that we've worked on today, polishing the back. Bigger piece of steel, so it's got more there to absorb the heat before it gets back to my finger. It's getting there, won't be long. This ratty one. This one's nearly done. Nearly there. Oop, went a bit squiffy there. Not to worry, that's all good. Now you may notice on some of these, I'm not going to take it all the way to the edge because I'm going to pull that back with, that one's right. I'm going to pull that last area back. This one needs more work because I've got to get down to that corner because I didn't grind it terribly flat or straight, or square I should say, before. Oop. Trolley's starting to wheel away. I didn't lock the wheels. Give it a rest for a second. I'll lock these wheels. That's better. And we'll give this one a last spurt. It's good. Whoop! Off to the edge. Starting to get a bit warm. I'm going to leave that one for a second. We'll come back over to the other camera. Wherever it is, back up to here. So I'm letting that big one cool down just a touch. Kiwi 007. No, Sorby's are a little bit annoyed with Axminster for doing that. I think they said just, they stole our idea, so I'm guessing the courts will work all that out. A cheap surface plate would be ideal. I guess glass is just cheaper still. What grid have you, I'm sorry, Vecchio, I have 60 grit in there at the moment. The whole idea is to try and pull it down quickly. Matthew, wood turning tools, this is ideal. 1157. I'm going to run through the other grits. Give me a minute, because it'll show you how quickly it does it, and then I'll do that through a piece of paper. I'm going to go around about 10 minutes over, so it's 4 minutes to 12 Australian Eastern Daylight Time. So we'll go back over to the other one and start it again. Yeah, most wood turners love this. They absolutely love this. They've still got plenty of bite in it, because I know because of the heat of the chisel. You know what I said about giving it a drink? I just did. I'm not gonna take it up as hot as I normally would. Pardon me. So I'm gonna put that just here. Give it a quick dunk. And go again. Very close. That's a lot of steel I'm removing there at the moment. That'll do me. All right, I'm going to jump down to the next grip, which is 120, and this is where the speed will happen. It will be super quick. I'll use the ceramic belt this time. That may have been one of the things using the aluminium oxide belt. Tracks beautifully. Start with this one. I'm going to move this one across a little as we go. That's done. 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 The big fellow. Done. Now you wanted to know about the filings. There they are down there. See them? I turn that magnet off, and that's all the filings there. I'm going to tip those out. Pop it back and turn the magnet back on. All right, next one, 240. Isn't that quick? I love it. All right, tracking, beautiful. Now they get warm quickly on this. Be aware. See that already? That might help. Where was I up to? I put the chisels down without remembering. Oh look, I'll just do them again quickly. I think I've done this one. That's 240 grit. Both of those have been done to 240. This one hasn't. This is one of my daggy old ones. That's 120. Take it down to 240. $120 down to 240. On the big fellow. Next one is going to be 600. I'm going to use the Trizact belt. So now we're starting to get into... Wood turners had finished at 240 on their gouges. These belts have no direction. It's a block pattern. Trizact, I don't know what its special formula is, but it starts... because we're so fine, it's going to heat the chisels up very quickly. So I've just got to be aware of that while I'm doing this one. One. Two. Three. I don't want to go moving this one across because it's so narrow I might roll it. So I'm just finding different positions on the belt to do the skinny one. That's gone well. And then the big fellow, I can move it sideways. See that? Then we're going to 1200. How are we doing for time? 5 past. We should be good. As I said, 10 minutes in. 10 minutes over, I should say. We're good. So the next one is 1200. Now the 1200 and the 3000 look to be the same. So I went onto their website and I found out what the difference was. An A6 belt is 3000 and their A24, I think it is. Oh, sorry, A16 is 1200. No direction. Doesn't matter which way you put these on. This is this is where we're talking about going crazy sharp. You'll be amazed at that an abrasive belt could do so well. Beautiful. 1. 2. 3. Don't move this one. Just straight on. 4. Chisel number 5. See the blue? It happens so quick with the fine belts and the small chisel. It's getting warm. Okay. Now the 3000. See, the changing of the belt when you get down into the finer grits, once you've got past 60, which is all your shaping, that's where the time is consumed. Then getting down here into these ones, it's so quick. Okay. This is 3000. I don't know if you can see that. And then we're going to put it on the leather strop. Beautiful. Come back over to the main camera, if anyone's still here. Back to this one. I get the strop. And I'll put it on here so you can watch what's happening. And I'll grab that bit of draw liner, throw it on the front, bit of rouge. This is the polishing compound. These things aren't as good, just leather. But on this side, this is the coarse side. On the other side, I don't put rouge on that side. I only put it on this side. See that? Don't go doing this. Not going to work. Not going to be any good. All righty. Let's go with this one to start with. It's so nice. I'm going to pull it backwards. And now I'm going to throw it over this side, and I'm just guessing. I could use the Veritas honing guide, but I'm going to guess. I'm guessing I'm around 30 degrees, which is going to be working my micro bevel. Indeed it is. See the reflection of everything in the computer? And you might be able to also see the reflection in that as well. I think you can. Okay, now, that's crazy sharp, but let's flip this over to the other side. No rouge, just straight on that fine leather. Okay. I do it a couple of times, different directions, because we're working that burr off. This burr is only microns thick. You can't see it. Do I dare get a piece of paper? The paper test. The dreaded paper test. Piece of paper. We'll see what happens. All right, here we go. That's pretty sharp. What do you think? All right, I think we've done enough for today. I'm going to work on these during the Patreon chat. And I'm going to quickly check my run sheet here for what else. I think that's all. I'll just read out my patrons' names. These are the patrons that jump in at a certain tier and above. Johannes, Mohr, John Parra, Vincent Ngian, John Lafferty, Peter Woolworth, Brian Del Vecchio, Justin Bailey, Father Brett Guthrie, Mike Deam, got it right this time, Mike, Wayne Cargill, Matthew Raphael, John Lynch, and Peter Partridge. Thank you so much to all of those people for supporting me doing this. It helps me get out of bed on a Sunday morning at a crazy early time, and also helps me support other YouTubers and live streamers like Cole. Cole and I spent a fair bit of time, and Pam, on a video chat last night, just doing all the finer details. Even though he's got this tech guy, because I've done it and experience, and I told him all the things to look out for that can go wrong. Not that I've got it right yet, it'll happen in time. Okay, thank you very much. Obvious statement right there, sure is sharp. Thank you very much to everyone. If you want to do one of these, that'd be fantastic. And also thanks to all of my patrons, as I said before, thank you very much. And come back up to this one, look after yourselves, be nice to each other, have a great week, and I shall see you next week. Bye.